Hello my friends and welcome to a new video. In the last review of the Logitech RS50, I asked you guys to put in the comments with which wheelbase you wanted me to compare it, Thrustmaster T598 or the Fanatec GT DD Pro, and the answer was just compare them with both. So with this I bring you the comparison of the Logitech RS50 versus the Thrustmaster T598 versus the Fanatec GT DD Pro. When we look at the technology, well, there are two bases with 8 Nm of peak torque, the RS50 and the GT DD Pro. With the RS50, there is a TrueForce which supplements the force feedback a bit. And then we have the T598, which has a constant torque of 5 Nm, but it overshoots up to 10 Nm. And this one is supplemented by the Harmony protocol to add a little bit of extra force feedback there. Looking at the quick release, well, I think that there is also a bit of a difference, and it has to do with the build quality. Looking at the Fanatec, well, they received a new quick release, not the one that I have on my GT DD Pro. I don't see any issues coming up with that one. When I look at the Logitech quick release, well, a very nice quick release, full made out of metal. It really feels good, it's easy to use. And when I look at the Thrustmaster one, again, this one very easy to use to exchange steering wheels, but there both on the client side, on the steering wheel side and the wheelbase side, there they made use of a lot of plastic. And I think that in time, when you are using it and you exchange the steering wheel, or just by the force of driving, that at a certain moment that the plastic will scrape a bit off and that you will have some play on the steering wheel. So this is something that you also need to take into account. Further, for technology, well, we have on the wheelbases of the RS50 and the T598, we have a screen on it. This is not the case with the Fanatec base. There you will need to rely on a screen on your steering wheel to make some changes in the configuration. Also, I need to add that for the Thrustmaster, well, there is a color screen, and for the RS50 it's a monochrome screen. When it comes to connections, there is also a big difference. Logitech opted to standardize their connections by using USB-A, which means that you just have your pedals which have USB, and you plug them directly into your wheelbase. There is no pass-through, so you can't use any other USB peripherals for that except for the Logitech ones. But this is possible, and when you exchange your wheelbase, you take a C-Magic, for example, to race on PC, well, you can still use your pedals then by plugging them in directly into your PC with a USB. So that's really good. If we look at Fanatec, well, they all use RJ, so it's standardized RJ connectors, and there you have the issue with the CSL pedals that come with the Fanatec wheelbase, that you cannot plug them directly into your PC. You will need to buy an adapter piece from RJ to USB, or buy the upgrade kit with the load cell that is available, and then you can connect them via USB to your PC also. With Thrustmaster, it is completely different. There they said, well, we take a bit of everything. We have an RJ with a lip in the center, we have an RJ with a lip in to the left, we have the DIN connector for the shifters, and we have the USB to connect it to your PC. Completely different things, and I really don't I understand why they do it, but yeah, it's really a bit nonsense. So they should really standardize their connections. So I would like to stress that no matter which of these three wheelbases that you buy, you will have a fantastic experience with it. I mean, it's not the same as before, when you had different technologies for the transmission. You had the gear driven, belt driven. There's not that much of a difference anymore between direct drives. They all feel more or less the same. Very smooth, very powerful also most of the time. Of course, as always, there are quite a few small differences between these wheelbases when you drive them. So when the Fanatec GT DD Pro came out in 2021, I believe, I tested it at that moment, and I compared it to the Thrustmaster TGT, which was then at that moment the official Gran Turismo driving wheel. And what I noticed at that moment is that, yeah, the direct drive, because the TGT was a belt driven, the direct drive was much more smoother, was much more precise. Was more precise. So you could really feel the difference in technology there. However, it felt like driving on a bowling lane, because everything felt so smooth. Okay, there were some subtle details. I'm talking about Gran Turismo now. So there were some subtle details that you had in the road, but for the rest of the ride, it felt, and I believe I used the word clinical at that moment. So very clinical drive that you have with it. So yeah, it was, to be honest, it was not really my cup of tea, because I like to have a bit more sentiment coming from the wheelbase. I'm not a racer or anything, so for me, what I feel coming from the steering wheel is much more important. So then in 2024, you have the next direct drive that came out, which was the T598 of Thrustmaster, and there the driving experience in Gran Turismo, it was already a bit beefed up. The power that it generated was not the same as with the GT DD Pro 8 from Fanatec. It felt almost as powerful, but when you go into more the longer turns, there you could feel that the lateral force that it generates, it is just a bit less than you have with the more powerful DD Pro 8. Of course, it was, I thought that you still had enough power coming from it, but it was just a bit of a noticeable difference between those two. And of course, with the T598 also came Thrustmaster's second attempt at delivering haptic force feedback via the steering wheel, and that was the Harmony. So Harmony is a bit the same as TrueForce, so it just adds some more details to the driving experience. At this moment in Gran Turismo, it is limited, more or less a bit to the shifting. So when you shift up, you feel a jolt in the steering wheel, which is really nice. So it is a bit of an added sensation, which makes it less of a sterile drive like with the GT DD Pro. I really enjoyed the driving experience in Gran Turismo with the T598. For a budget base, I thought it did very well, and especially because it is marketed as a 5 Nm wheelbase. It really felt more powerful than it actually was. If you want, you can look at the review the comparison that I made between the T598 and the GT DD Pro 5, and well, you will see that they did a really good job with the T598. Then this year, Logitech came out with the RS50, and well, immediately when I saw it, I saw the specs, and I saw that TrueForce was integrated. I knew this was going to be a very good base. And when I first drove it in Gran Turismo, well, I was so happy, because it was like, for me, the combination of the Fanatec GT DD Pro and the Thrustmaster TGT with the TDFB in it. So it has the normal force, or the constant force, the 8 Nm, which makes it fantastic at taking turns and making you feel the force feedback, the drifting of the car and the wheels and stuff like that. You can really feel it well with the 8 Nm. But it also added the extra sensation from the TrueForce. So I'm talking about the curbs, talking about the road surface that you feel more. The only thing with the TrueForce that I noticed in Gran Turismo is that the shifting. I don't feel the shifting anymore. When I shift, normally there was a jolt. I know before with the G Pro, I know there was like the jolt that I felt, but it doesn't seem to be no longer there. Now I know that Gran Turismo changed a few things when it comes to TrueForce, and I think that it is related to that. So I really hope that they manage to bring this back also in the game. But yeah, for the rest, this RS50 is a fantastic wheelbase, very smooth. Quad details, I think, yeah, like the GT DD Pro, it feels almost the same, I think, if you count out the TrueForce. And when it comes to the power, well, yeah, I would even say that it feels a little bit more powerful than the GT DD Pro, even though they are both 8 Nm max torque wheelbases, but I do think it feels a little bit more powerful. Now, of course, this is for Gran Turismo. The difference in Gran Turismo between the wheelbases and the strength that they generate, yeah, it is of course a bit less than other games on PlayStation, but also on PC. And there you see that the difference between the RS50 and the GT DD Pro and the T598, they become a bit bigger, because in a game, for example, like BeamNG, well, there you really enjoy the TrueForce a lot more than in Gran Turismo. So there the Fanatec GT Pro is really lagging behind. But I would say, yeah, for both PC and Gran Turismo, my preference would be GT DD Pro, T598 and RS50. At the time I make this video, when it comes to the ecosystem, Logitech has the smallest ecosystem out there and are filling it up at a very slow pace. One of the most notable missing peripherals there would be the H shifter in the Pro series. There is of course the H shifter of the older generation of steering wheels that can be used in combination with the racing adapter on the new steering wheels, but the performance of that one is really not up to par with the other hardware. Thrustmaster has already a decent sized ecosystem with plenty of peripherals to choose from. However, one absent upgrade would be the load cell brake for the pedals that come in the T598 package. It is said to be underway, but today still it has not been released. Fanatec has without doubt the biggest ecosystem. It contains all the peripherals you can want and a very large selection of expensive and less expensive steering wheels. The ecosystem of Fanatec is a large reason why people opt to go for the brand these days. The software of Logitech is the most simple software out there. It contains only a handful of settings that you can adapt. This is good for people that start out with simulated driving. The software does what it needs to do and yeah, not much more. Thrustmaster has a few more options, but can also be considered to be very simple, although the user interface of the software looks more complex than that of Logitech. Some really nice features here are the different presets like Sport, Race and Extreme. But again, it is a very easy configuration for people that just start out. Fanatec has the most elaborate software between these three. I remember when I started out and seeing all the abbreviations, I did feel a bit overwhelmed. However, once you know what they mean and you test out things for yourself, this software will really allow you to create the most personalized feeling when driving with your wheelbase. So, price is always an important variable when you go buy new hardware. If I look at the prices of the standalone wheelbases, RS50 comes in at €399 for the PlayStation version, T598 same thing, €399, and the GT DD Pro 8 comes in at a whopping €600. When you want to buy a package, so this means a wheelbase, steering wheel, the button box for the steering wheel, the desk clamp, and pedals, for Logitech you come in at €800. This is included with the new pedals that they have, the RS pedals that they have. T598 comes in at a measly €500. Which is very, very cheap, and the GT DD Pro 8 comes in at €799, so also €800, same price as with the RS50. Now there is a big difference, of course, between the Thrustmaster and the Logitech and the Fanatec. Now the big difference is in the steering wheel quality and the pedal quality. If I look at the steering wheel of the Thrustmaster T598, you know, it is made completely out of hard plastic here, and then you have the soft rubbery plastic, which gets very, very dirty. I cleaned it up a bit now, but it still remains a bit dirty. Button quality also, so it is a very cheap steering wheel, and it is one of the first things that I would change when I bought this or when I would buy this this set. Steering wheel, very, very cheap quality, and you cannot compare this to the steering wheel that is on the Logitech RS50. It's simply something that you need to take into account. Same for the pedals. The Logitech pedals, while they are starter pedals, they already come with a load cell in them. This is not the case for the Thrustmaster pedals. So there is a bit the difference in price when you compare them, because the bases are the same, but steering wheel and the pedals, well, that is quite different. If I look at Fanatec, on the other hand, they are a bit in between. So their steering wheel, is also not the best steering wheel that I have seen, but at least it has the little display in it, the ref bar. But the rest, the upholstery also is made out of some rubber. So it's also not the best steering wheel, but at least it is already better quality than the Thrustmaster T598 standard steering wheel. Pedals of the Fanatec are also simple pedals, no load cell, no customization. So I think for pricing, I think Fanatec is the most priciest if you compare it bang for buck. As a conclusion, well, we are no longer 2021. I think Fanatec has been the standard for quite a long time, or for 3 years. But I think it is no longer the case. The use case for Fanatec would be at this moment, I would already say like people that are really into competition driving, that enjoy the many software tweaks that you can do, or the tweaks for the steering wheel that you can do with the Fanatec, that like to have a custom steering wheel, because Fanatec has a lot of steering wheels in their lineup. I think that is a bit the use case for the Fanatec steering wheels. Use case for the T598, I would say it's parents that are looking to buy something for their kids, a complete set for their kids, so €500 for the wheelbase, steering wheel, pedals, so it's out of the box for €500 and it works. It's also very simple to set up in general, the Thrustmaster. So I think that would be a very good use case. Also for people that are on a budget, I think the Thrustmaster is the most logical choice. And then for the rest, and it is the wheelbase that I would recommend most to people, it would be this RS50 of Logitech. It's powerful enough for me. It has a TrueForce, which is still miles better than Harmony. Harmony just started up, so they will improve, no doubt. But at this moment, TrueForce is just integrated already in so many games, and it already feels so good. But it's not only that, it is very simple to configure the wheelbase, not that many options that you have, and standard, it has a very decent steering wheel. It already feels quality with the leather wrapping, with the buttons, the looks. So it feels a lot less like a toy than, for example, the T598 does. Now again, I have to stress that no matter what wheelbase you buy, I think you will be very happy with it. All the three wheelbases, they have a very pleasant experience, driving experience. So it's not that some content creator reviewer says that the RS50 is better, that it's not fun to drive with the Fanatec GT DD Pro. I mean, just take my opinion as it is. But yeah, that would be my conclusion for the comparison of these three wheelbases. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had something from this video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more videos. When you buy new hardware, use an affiliate link. This really helps us content creators out. I will see you all next video. Bye bye.